Hi, I'm Lynn, and welcome back to Lynn Makes. So it was my birthday a few days ago, and every year I spend my creative juices planning some elaborate party. Last year, I planned a murder mystery party for 30 people, from scratch. Like, I wrote all of it from scratch. This year, because of world happenings, that clearly couldn't happen, so I needed to put my creative juices towards something else. So I decided to make armor for my cat. And not just any armor, mind you. Samus Aran, from Meteoroid and Smash Bros. Cue the title of this video. Catmus Aran. And now, in 4 easy steps, you can too. The whole process can be split into a few parts. Pattern, produce, paper mache, and paint. Yes, all process parts must start with the letter P in order to be part of the process. It's time to pattern! First, acquire your feline cosplayer. You'll need them to measure out the costume sizes. I started with the helmet here, but as you can see, Poirot likes things on his head about as much as he likes water, so not at all. I scrapped this in the final design and didn't end up making it. Next up, the bracers. You'll need a piece of paper as long as your pet's radius and ulna. Basically past their second wristy thing that you see when they lay on their stomachs, to their elbow. Yes, I looked up the scientific names for bones, but not for the joints, which are actually important here. The last piece to measure is the main back piece. You can either drape a piece of paper over your adventuresome animal, or use a piece of clothing that already fits them. I happen to have this vest that fits Poirot that I made for his birthday in another video. Link in the description. I'll start with Samus's left bracer, and then later duplicate it for the base structure of the right. First, you will want to create a trapezoid 1/4 the size of the bracer, about the size of a chicken wing. If you are using cardboard, you'll want to cut it so the grain is horizontal. After cutting it out, use the grain to round it. Then give it a good slice down your wing, so it makes a more roundy shape. A more plump wing. Be like meat on these bones. And then you'll want to cut 3 more chicken wings out. If only you could duplicate food like this. Cut a little notch in the top of each and tape the 4 together. This is your test shape. Adjust as needed. Once satisfied, trace the 4 pieces you have cut out as one whole piece. You could skip this step, but the singular piece adds stability. Repeat the previous process. Score your giant super wing, round it, and tape it all together. Make any modifications needed on shape. I needed to widen the base. Cut out a shorter rectangular piece to be the base, and a strip for detailing at the bottom. Boom! General bracer structure done. For the details, create the general shape, but don't worry about fitting the pieces flush with the rounded base. We'll cover those holes later. Samus's shooting hand required 2 rounded cylinders on the side, so we'll make each of those by stacking 2 hollow cylinders and cap them. The other bracer requires 2 extra rounded bits. We'll make those by cutting out 2 cardboard firms and rounding them. Adjust, and tape as needed. For the shoulders, we're gonna use our resources. You could make half spheres out of cardboard with a similar method as used previously, or if it's your birthday and you happen to have 2 lids for delicious gluten-free bundt cakes, those work great as well. Fast forwarding a bit, because I actually didn't do this all on my birthday. To create the body structure, start with something you know fits your cat. Either some clothing you made for their birthday previously, or a piece of paper you marked with sizing. Or you could also measure them. You want the top piece to go shoulder to shoulder, because that's where the half sphere shoulder thingies go. Shoulder caps. Shoulder pads. This isn't the 80s. Oh, I guess it is. Next step is to guesstimate the length of your furry bounty hunter, and the proportional length of each section. Since I was working from flannel, I counted by flannel rows. I wanted about 6 for the yellow section, and the rest for the red. Now that you know the sizing, you can sketch out the piece for the top, and compare it to the other pieces you've already made. If it looks good, continue making sections from paper so you can figure out the best shapes for Samus's gem-like structured suit. Adjust the design as needed. Here I only made a pattern for one side, and then I'll trace it out twice from the same pieces. Again, as you trace, take into account the grain of the cardboard, as it'll be easier to curve in one direction over the other. Like before, tape all your pieces together and adjust them as needed since cardboard isn't paper. Well, I guess it is paper. It's just not bendy like paper, okay? But only actually moved this fast when I was making it. Instead, I spent hours upon hours cutting and taping and cutting while binging Person of Interest. Quality show, by the way. Root is my favorite character, if anyone else watches that. Anyways, once you have the main back done, cut out some large half ferns to make the boosters on our back. Attach those to the main structure, liberally with tape. So much tape. All the tape. Please. Tape, tape, tape. Now that we are done with the top, it's time to bring back those 6 squares length from your feline flannel. Say that 6 times fast. Wow. Again, start with a paper sample to size check. Cut out the pieces, score them to curve, and then tape it all together. The hours I spent paper macheing in elementary school prepared me for this moment. For those of you that don't remember, welcome to art class. Today's subject, paper mache. First, create a mixture somewhere between 50-50 water glue and 25-75 water glue. It really depends on your desired stickiness to liquidity ratio. The more water, the more liquid. The more glue, the more sticky. Okay, now that you've prepped your liquid, it's time to bathe some strips. Think like dipping those chicken wings in some sauce. Give each strip a good soak in your mixture. Gotta relax after a long day of being paper. Cover the bracers and shoulder pieces with paper mache until you are satisfied. Oh, I also chose to use the white printer paper instead of the typical newspaper because it'll make the painting step easier. I won't need as much paint to cover the surface, which is great since I'm running low, and it isn't the easiest thing to get more right now. Oh, also, if you happen to do this on different days like me, then don't forget to tape the shoulder pieces to your main armor before paper macheing them together. To my friend who said she likes watching time lapses, this paper mache time lapse to epic fight music, it's for you. And it's finally paint time. It's paint time. Paint time. Yeah, that's the paint time song. Cool. I was running low on paint colors because we used them to paint some giant team posters at work, but I did get some other paint colors in return, so I did leave with more paint than I started with, but less color range. So some of the paint choices here are due to what I had available, which was like no green and barely any yellow. But I did have gold and a few shades of blue and red. Also, I just want to say it, that when I started, I was watching Jessica Jones, but I kept getting so distracted and stressed out for her, cue me not painting, that I just switched to watching the movie Isn't It Romantic? And while this worked for my stress level, it did not help with my dancing levels. I took so many dancing breaks, I think I moved equally as fast as I had previously with the stressed out levels. Oh well. Anyways, for painting, I added a base coat, then did some shading, and eventually some detailing with a Sharpie. Final look. This is the final look. Final look. Final look.
Meow.
This is the final look. Final look. Final look. Final look.
Meow.
This is the final look.
Meow. 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 Meow.
Final look.
Meow. Meow. Catch.
Final look. This is the final look. Well, that was something. Thanks for watching. If you make one of your own, please leave a comment and a picture because I'd love to see. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. If you have a comment or just want to say hi, hey. And subscribe if you want more. Anyways, catch you on the flip side. Can I juggle these in one hand? Whew.